So lately, we've been hearing more and more about Bitcoin going mainstream, like really mainstream.
Yeah, it's way more than just buying stuff online now.
Right. And to see how far this whole Bitcoin thing has come, we're diving into a place called Lugano, Switzerland, where it's becoming, well, actual everyday money.
Exactly. Think groceries, a coffee, even paying your taxes, all with Bitcoin.
That seems kind of wild, right? Like something out of a sci-fi movie. So today we're going to unpack whether Lugano is a glimpse into the future of money or just, a really interesting experiment.
Yeah, it's definitely got people talking.
Okay, so set the scene for us. What's so special about Lugano?
So what makes Lugano unique is they've gone all in on Bitcoin. They call it de facto legal tender, basically. It's not official legal tender in the traditional sense.
Hold on, de facto legal tender. What does that even mean?
It means, in practice, it's widely accepted as a currency. Like, you can use Bitcoin for a huge range of things, just like you would use Swiss francs.
Wow, okay. So like I could walk into a shop and buy, I don't know, a loaf of bread with Bitcoin.
Yep. And the city government actually encourages it. They even have this program, Plan Euro, to promote a full-blown blockchain-based economy.
Plan Euro, I kind of love it. But blockchain-based economy sounds a bit abstract.
It does, doesn't it? But that's where we're talking about this article about this guy who lived on Bitcoin in Lugano. He wanted to see what it's actually like, day to day.
Okay, so what did he find? Like what kind of stuff could he buy with Bitcoin?
Get this, he bought orange body paint with Bitcoin. Orange body paint.
No way. Seriously.
Yeah, it shows just how embedded Bitcoin is in Lugano. You can use it for everyday purchases. Like, it's not just about buying expensive stuff.
Okay, but speaking of expensive stuff, didn't he also check out a Lamborghini dealership? Like, could he have bought a Lambo with Bitcoin?
Well, not quite. I mean, you can technically buy luxury items with Bitcoin.
Right.
But there's a catch. Bitcoin's price can be really volatile, so for big purchases, people often use stablecoins.
Ah, stablecoins. Yeah, that's a whole other episode right there.
Totally.
Okay, but back to this guy in Lugano. He got a Bitcoin tattoo, right?
He did.
Talk about a commitment.
That's what's so interesting. It's like, why would someone permanently ink themselves with a Bitcoin logo? What does that say about their belief in this technology?
It's a statement, that's for sure. It's funny you should mention the tattoo and permanence. Because one thing that really stuck with me from this article was the idea of buying real estate with Bitcoin.
Oh, absolutely. And that's a huge part of Lugano's plan, their plan B,
Plan B.
to make it possible to buy property entirely with Bitcoin.
But, like, how does that even work? I mean, real estate transactions are so complicated with all the paperwork and everything.
And that's where blockchain can really shine.
No way.
Because one of its biggest strengths is making those kinds of complicated processes way more efficient and transparent.
So instead of, like, banks and lawyers shuffling papers, it's all on the blockchain.
Exactly.
Which is like what do they call it? A public ledger. So everyone can see it.
Yep. And trust it. It cuts out the need for those middlemen, makes things faster, cheaper, and more secure.
Wow. Okay, so I can see the appeal, but even if the tech is there, are people ready for that? It seems like a huge leap to buy a house with Bitcoin.
It's a big decision for sure.
Yeah.
But Lugano's vision goes beyond just, using Bitcoin to buy stuff. It's about a whole ecosystem built on blockchain.
Okay, so it's bigger than just Bitcoin. What else are they doing with blockchain in Lugano?
They're using it for digital identity, e-governance, even supply chain management.
Wow. So they're really going for it.
It's about creating this hub for innovation, drawing in people and businesses who are really pushing the boundaries of tech.
It's kind of mind-blowing, but I guess big changes often start small, right?
Right.
Didn't the article mention a cafe that's been accepting Bitcoin since way back in 2013?
Since 2013.
So they've been at this for a while.
It just shows how early they were to recognize Bitcoin's potential. They had that foresight, and now they're leading the way.
That's amazing. But let's be real, no system is perfect. What are some of the downsides of this whole Bitcoin City idea?
Well, one of the biggest concerns, and we touched on it earlier, is Bitcoin's volatility.
Right, the price going up and down.
Exactly. That's why stablecoins are so important.
Okay, so let's talk about stablecoins. You mentioned them earlier.
Yeah.
But I think it would be good to break down what they are and how they, solve this volatility problem. So stablecoins, they're kind of like Bitcoin's less chaotic cousins, right?
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
Give us the rundown.
Okay, so stablecoins are cryptocurrencies designed to, stay stable. They're usually linked to something like the US dollar, maybe a group of assets, and that stability makes them way more practical for everyday transactions
Makes sense.
because you don't have those wild price swings that Bitcoin has.
Right, so you don't end up paying like $5 for a coffee one day
Exactly.
and then 50 cents the next.
Yeah, it just takes that worry out of the equation.
So it's like you still get the whole blockchain thing, but without, the stress of Bitcoin's ups and downs.
Precisely. You get the security and transparency of blockchain with the stability of, traditional currencies.
Okay, that's pretty cool. But even if we figure out that whole volatility thing, isn't there still the challenge of like getting everyone on board with this whole cryptocurrency idea?
Yeah, adoption is definitely key.
Because not everyone's super tech savvy.
Right.
And the whole decentralized finance thing can seem kind of intimidating.
I get it.
For sure.
But Lugano's really trying to make crypto accessible to everyone.
Okay.
Like they've developed these really user-friendly apps and platforms to help people learn the ropes no matter their background.
So they're really invested in making this work for everybody.
Absolutely. It's about empowering people, not leaving anyone behind.
I like that. So zooming out a bit, what does Lugano's whole Bitcoin thing tell us about the future of money in general? Like, are we on the verge of a big shift?
It's definitely possible. I mean, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, they're really shaking things up.
Right.
They challenge the old ways of doing finance, the centralized systems.
Yeah.
And they offer this decentralized alternative that's, more transparent, more accessible.
And potentially, like, fairer.
Exactly. It's like how the internet transformed how we share information.
Right.
Crypto could do the same for how we exchange value.
That's kind of a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Uh-huh.
And it's exciting and also, a little bit daunting to think about
Totally.
this potential for such a fundamental shift.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so fascinating about this whole deep dive on Lugano, right? It's not just like a theory anymore.
Right.
It's actually happening.
It's real.
Like they're showing us what a cryptocurrency-powered future could look like.
Yeah, it's a real-world experiment right in front of us.
Exactly, and it gives us so much to think about.
It really does.
So next time you hear about Bitcoin, remember Lugano, the city that's not afraid to embrace the future of money.
They're really pushing the boundaries.
And maybe, just maybe, giving us a glimpse of a world transformed by, the power of this technology.
A world full of possibilities.
For sure. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. We hope we've sparked your curiosity to keep exploring this whole world of digital finance.
It's an exciting time to be paying attention.
It really is. Until next time.